Yeah, Marty's had a great career, and he's a terrific coach, and he's got a good team. They were down a couple players tonight, which made it hard for them. But I thought it was a functional game for us. We have a ton of work to do that we're really excited about, but we're grateful for those guys coming playing and competed hard and made some shots, and it was a good night for us.
After the Purdue game, you talked about how the balance and point distribution was something similar that you saw on your Natty team. Tonight, 10 guys found the basket. You had 5 scoring in double-digit margins. What makes that play style so successful for this team, and do you feel it's something that can be more consistently relied on throughout the season?
It's going to be really important for us. We're still learning ourselves, and unfortunately for us, we got to break a lot of stuff before we fix it. Right now is where we feel like we are, which is okay, because the growing part of the season is incredibly painful and frustrating, and leaves you with a lot of doubts. But it's actually if you step back, it's actually a really beautiful process. And so, yes, this team is built to function like that, and if we embrace it, then we have a chance to be good.
Mark, you made a comment yesterday about an out-of-character experience right before the Louisville game that kind of went a little viral. I was wondering if you'd like to elaborate on that, since you didn't say much about it yesterday.
You know, I'm so good because we were walking in, Deb's like, hey, they might ask you about the thing yesterday. So you guys know I'm a big Taylor Swift fan, and I just like to leave out these little things that just keep everybody wondering and guessing. There's really not much to it. At some point I'll tell you the story, but I'd like you guys to prognosticate on that for a couple more days. It really is nothing. It's just something about the emotional level of our team, and I'm still, like I said, I wish I want to like tease this out and let it play for a few more days, but when we talk about it, it's really not going to be very interesting. It was just the way that we felt as a team and how we responded. So thanks for letting that float around for a while. It's fun, right? Let's give you something to write about and guess about and tweet about. I'm going to give you something else today. I got to figure out what it is.
Mark, 2 parts. Any update on Jalen?
It was, by the way, the comment was very genuine. It was super genuine. It wasn't like I'm genuinely trying to, I'm genuinely trying to learn this group for sure. So it wasn't nonsense. Go ahead.
Yeah, 2-part. Any update on Jalen? And with all the injuries last year, and Jalen's been hurt twice, does that give you any concern to be overly conservative with Jaden Quaintance when he's ready? Does that play into it?
You know what? I was going to say I don't spend a lot of time worrying, but I think that might be a lie. The best me, the me that I would like to be, doesn't spend a lot of time worrying. It's just like we deal with things as they come, and it's the beauty of a season. And getting to so I would say with JQ, I'm not spending a lot of time worrying. I'm just excited when he's ready to go, and it's going to be fun. And we have so much to figure out with JQ. He hasn't been in any type of live action. It will be 9 months since he's actually done anything live and had any contact at all. So I'm way more curious than I am worried. I'm curious about how quickly he's going to learn us and how he's going to fit into the deal, and what type of impact he can make and what type of player he is going to be. I think players, you see them on film, you look at their numbers, you kind of spend time with them, you get references, but there's still a growing process once they get into us, into Rupp, into our style of play, and learning that. I think that's where I'm more preoccupied is just fitting the piece together. We don't have anything yet, and so we just we'll probably have some discussions over the next couple of days about what's the best thing to do right now. That's probably the point where we are right now. I think we've got a bevy of second and third opinions, and so right now it's going to be more just the whole group, the whole medical team, and mom and dad and J-Lo and me sitting down and having a real conversation about what's the best thing to do moving forward.
Coach, you just mentioned you didn't like how the team was feeling the energy or how they responded on Tuesday night. How do you think they responded emotionally tonight, and how do you think they will in a big game on Tuesday over at Madison Square Garden?
I thought we were okay, and I expect that we're going to be great. That's what I think.
Mark, especially in light of obviously Jalen's injury, I'm curious about the use of big men maybe to bring the ball up the court. We saw that a lot last year with Amari. He's also got some talented big men from a dribbling and passing capacity this year. Just how do you feel maybe Mo, Brandon, even Malachi would function? And is that something you're willing to explore more given what's happening at guard?
Yeah, it's one of the nice things about the way we play is we feel like we have a lot of options to go to on a need-to basis. And as we, we're just, there's so much to learn. And so, but yes, I feel a lot of comfort because I think we have a lot of options. And it's not really options like the ball's going to be in this person's hands all the time. It's just that there's a lot of ways that we can attack the game with guys that potentially could be play-making deciders. So I feel pretty good about that. I have a lot of comfort. That's one of the beautiful things about our roster.
Mark over here, I know it's so easy to kind of second guess and wonder about things, and I guess what I'm curious about is, you're up by 46 and you check back in the starting five with like a minute and a half to go, and I didn't know, are you trying to send a message to the backups? Is that something to the starters, or is that something just, and especially if you're saying you're worried about injuries, some people would say, what the heck is this guy doing putting the starting five back out there up that much?
Yeah, we had at the last media timeout, we had a little incident in the huddle. I'm not going to talk about that right now. Kidding. It's a joke. That's a joke. No, I'll be totally transparent. I've been really disappointed with our guy. No, that's not true. I've been disappointed with my ability and commitment to explain to our guys what it means to sprint back in transition defense. We've always said first three steps as a mantra. We went to sprint through half court, and still we were seeing not a effort that's not a championship effort tonight for most of the night. And so in a moment of sheer inspiration towards the end of the game with all the frustration that went on, I went to the guys and said, hey, we track wedges and we have teaching. Every time we don't wedge, we have a teaching experience for those guys the next day in practice. And every time we don't contest legal, we have a very focused on contesting legal, teaching. Our first 10 minutes is dedicated to that. And so now transition defense, the teaching moments, every time that our guys aren't a full sprint back in transition, a full sprint, it'll be a ladder, a run. So if they don't, sprint back in transition, it'll be 10 ladders. I was hoping for that number. We didn't have enough possessions by the time I went to this. And then I wasn't getting a great response. So then we went to a 17 for every time that we don't sprint back. And so we're going to try and use that as our teaching technique. And it's really applicable, like running the game or running practice. And it's just a good teaching tool. We have beautiful guys. It's just a communication lapse with the words I'm saying and them understanding how urgent it is. So I put that onus on the group that was in the game at the media timeout. And I wanted to give the starters a chance to run also, and so it was really functional for us. It was really good. It was actually probably one of the most productive things from the whole night. I think we'll have some life in it, and I'm going to invite the whole media post game, maybe after the Michigan State game, to the next practice, and you can just watch the guys run, and it'll be great. No, you guys are free.
Mark, obviously you've discussed a lot this year about the value of some of these.
It's not a punishment. It's just it's really genuinely just teaching. By the way. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're okay. About the value of one-on-one meetings with your players. We heard on the pregame show that during practice you pulled Otega Owe aside, wanted to have kind of a private conversation with him. Is there any insight into what you kind of said to him and what maybe you need to see from him going forward this year?
Yeah, for all of our guys, it's. This is just a learning curve. I wish that I'll be really bluntly honest with you guys. I wish I was farther ahead right now. I wish that I was farther ahead with this group. Maybe it's been complicated that I'm trying to figure out why I'm not farther ahead with this group in terms of just this group's identity. There's a lot of contributing factors for sure. But what I expect from the guys is that they that they embrace who they are. Like, they're here for a reason. They have very, very special, unique, quantifiable skill sets. And I want them to use them. I want them to like celebrate them. I want them to be proud of them. I want them to love their game. And I talked to the staff about it today. It's even a problem for me. Sometimes I see a way another coach approaches something, or a anecdote they share, or a style of coaching, or an action that they run, or a philosophy of how they coach. And you look around and you're like, I would like to do that. I would like to do this. I'd like to do the other. And sometimes it's always important to grow, but you never want to lose yourself when you grow. You want to grow yourself. The anecdote I've shared with the guys is it's like if Tom Brady was really upset that Michael Vick, people thought he was a better running quarterback. And so Tom Brady said, you know what, I'm just going to run every time so I can prove that I'm a great running quarterback. Nobody wants to see that, right? And so us understanding where we bring our special sauce to the team is really, really important. Us growing as individuals is really important, but us knowing who we are and knowing what makes us special is really important. As a staff, me as a head coach, our players, Deb as SID, the whole thing.
Coach, Mo had a quiet night against Louisville tonight, gets a double-double, shoots perfect in the second half. What does it say about him as a player that he's able to have such a quick turnaround and perform the way he did? Yeah,
I was proud of his focus. I didn't think he was great defensively in the first half, but I thought he was great. He imprinted himself on the game on the offensive glass. And in the second half, the beginning of the second half, I felt like he finally got around to having some impact defensively. I think we're leaving a lot on the table in terms of how disruptive we can be. And so I thought he made some progress toward that. And that's going to be a big deal for him. Him and Ortega should be vying for the best defensive players in the country right now. So far, they haven't been close. And that's okay. But for us to be great, they got to get there. And I thought we saw some good signs from Mo in that respect.
Mark, you sounded really bullish with Tom on the pregame show about Jasper at the 1 specifically. Just what have you seen from him at that spot specifically that gives you confidence that he could really do some good things there?
Yeah, Jasper's kind of been able to get where he needs to go on the court. He didn't have his best night tonight, but I have a lot of faith in him that he can get where he wants to go. He's certainly not scared of the moment. I think he's growing as a defensive player. I think he's got an opportunity to be an elite level playmaking passer, especially against different ball screen looks. He just needs time right now. He's a little bit of a deflection guy, trying to make reads off ball screens, especially when there's pressure. It's a place where he's capable and going to grow. He's just going to grow fast. But I think he's a great option for us at the 1. He's an incredibly talented player. He's going to be a star. He just is. It's just a learning process.
Coach, kind of a two-part question. You talked about in the offseason how players in this system in the second year make a big jump. It seemed like at times tonight you on the sidelines were telling Brandon to slow down on offense, and he struggled with a few turnovers and personal fouls. First part is, what's it been like for him learning this new role, and you talking about everybody learning what makes this team special? And then the second part, at the end of the half you tried Andrea at the 5.
Yeah.
Is it something you've thought about more while people are figuring out their roles?
Yeah, so BG, I thought BG had some really terrific ball screen, rotation, defense, communications. And I thought there were spaces where he was really good. Uncharacteristically for him tonight, he kind of went away from the simple play. He threw the skip pass 50 feet out of bounds to the corner when he could have just chosen DA early. And then he chose the one-hand 75-foot full court pass when he just had so many simple options in front of him. He got the offensive foul in transition where he kind of ran over a guy, which I'm not so upset about that because his force has been so much better this year than last year. His conditioning's been so much better. His communication's been so much better. So tonight I just thought he kind of uncharacteristically was was a little greedy trying to hit some home run plays. Maybe it was the nature of the game, but that's not him. I do think there could be some space for Yell at the 5. I think there could be space from some space for Cam at the 4. In unique situations. We went to some zone underneath out of bounds. It was nice to get that on film. It's something we've been working on. Like, there's, the game like today affords you just a chance just to like get something on film so you can see it. And so it was only a couple possessions, but I think Yell is capable for sure.
Mark, if these conversations with Jalen get to a point where it becomes surgery and potentially a season-ending thing, are you confident in the current group of ball handlers that you have right now, or would you potentially look into some external help?
I'm really confident in the group we have. I like the group we have a lot. I think we just have so much growing to do. So I love this group. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.